it's me. It's been a while since I've made a video and I'm so sorry for that. But we finally have internet, yay! So I'm finally able to make a video and know that I can upload it with no issues. So let's get right into this video. So today I am 24 weeks pregnant, exactly to a T. Every Friday I'm something new. So I am 24 weeks pregnant with baby boy. If you haven't seen my other videos, please watch them. But yes, I am pregnant with my second baby. It is a baby boy and his name is Nathan Scott. So there's just I'm just gonna jump right into things because I feel like I have to play catch up since I wasn't able to upload. So one, yes, I cut my hair. My hair, as a lot of you guys know, it was damaged because I used to dye my hair a lot. I used to bleach it. So I just honestly decided to just like cut it all off. So it's all cut off, as you can see, all the way around except for my bangs at the front. I like it. It's something to get used to, obviously, because I've always had hair, but I really like it. Excuse me, I have heartburn, terrible heartburn. So I will say something about my pregnancy, something that I've had constantly throughout my entire pregnancy: UTIs. I currently have a UTI and it's so painful. I'm constantly getting up to go to the bathroom. I'm on an antibiotic, which I'm only on day 2 of. So I know it's gonna take a while to set in, but it's so frustrating. I hate UTIs and I don't wish them on anybody, especially a pregnant woman. And I'm also taking my midwife recommended Azo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, for the relief pain, along with the antibiotic. So, medications that I am on for now. I am on Tylenol when needed, Fioricet if I have a really bad headache or migraine and it's not being treated right with the Tylenol, it's not going away, I'm taking Fioricet, which is a pregnancy-safe migraine medicine. Labetalol. I am back on Labetalol, you guys. I have had really bad blood pressure this pregnancy, and it's been going up and down, up and down. It's never really been consistent. The highest it's been was 165/99. That was scary. And I was in the hospital, so I was lucky they didn't keep me. And they're like, oh, they actually found a little bit of protein in my urine, and they're like, well, we don't want you to get preeclampsia, because a lot of you know, and if you don't know, I had it with my daughter, who's now 3, and we're trying to not go down that road. So we're trying to eliminate any possibility of me getting preeclampsia, because I don't want to have to be induced like I did with her, because she was 5 weeks early. I had to be induced because the preeclampsia was really bad. I'm trying to avoid that. I would really love to go into labor naturally on my own. So, out of the way, those are the medications that I am on. I take Labetalol 100 milligrams twice a day, morning and night, and my prenatals, obviously. And the Fioricet, I take that whenever I need it. I don't have to take that every day. If I don't have a headache, I don't need to take it. So the only thing I really have to take every day is my Labetalol. And then right now my antibiotic for my UTI, which I've been getting religiously. And at first I was like, what is this? And then I was like looking into it, and it's like, usually it's if you're drinking a lot of soda, you know, stuff like that. I don't drink soda really when pregnant. I drink sweet tea and a lot of water, like a lot of water. And then I was like, what else could it be? Then my midwife asked me, she was like, when you're sleeping or when you're in bed, do you get up to go to the bathroom? And I was like, well, not if I get comfy, because anyone that's ever been pregnant knows when you finally get comfy, you don't want to get up again if you don't have to. And I've been, you know, guilty of holding my bladder. And instead of going to the restroom when I probably should, I hold it instead. So that probably doesn't make matters any easier at all when it comes to getting UTIs. I need to stop holding my bladder because that's not helping anybody. So I need to stop doing that, for one. Let me just try to make sure I'm getting everything out here, because I did have everything planned, but I lost my list when I got a new phone, and I'm just shooting off the hip right now, but I want to make sure I'm updating you guys as much as possible. So yes, the blood pressure was bad, but it's now good. It's really good with the labetalol. And like I said, I take that twice a day. We can talk birth plans. That'll be a good thing we could talk about in this video. Okay. Sorry if you guys see me fidgeting. Like I said, this UTI is really painful, so I have my heating pad on me to try to help. That's very painful. So everyone's been asking me birth plans. That's been a question I've been getting to my email about. And for me, I don't believe, and this is just my personal opinion, I never really believed in a birth plan. Because with my daughter, everyone made it so apparent that you have to have a birth plan. And so I took the time and I typed one out. And then when it got to be the time to give it to my doctor, she just looked at it and was like, okay. And she just tossed it to the side. And I'm like, aren't you going to do something with it? And she was like, well, I don't really know what you want me to do with it because these things are never set in stone. You know, it's just, it's nice to have a basis and an idea of things that you want to happen. But chances are it's never going to happen the way that you want it to because it's not about you. It's about the baby. It's about getting the baby here safely. And if we have to overseed, then there's really no point. So I've always just been like, you know what, you're right. Because obviously my birth plan went out the window with my daughter because she was induced. I think the only thing that I had on my birth plan that I actually got was constant ice water, a fan, and cold compresses whenever I needed it. I think that's the only thing they actually stuck to with the birth plan. So I'm making it very simple. I've actually thought about this a lot. My birth plan is very simple. A, I do not want to be told when to push. Obviously, after the doctor tells me I'm 10 centimeters and it's okay, when my body feels it's ready, I'm going to do it. 2, I don't want anyone in the room that doesn't need to be, because with my daughter, I had like 12 doctors in one room, or like nurses, and half of them weren't doing anything but pissing me off, and I just don't want that. So if you're not in there, not doing anything, leave. Like I get claustrophobic real easily, and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. So that's another thing. Number 3, I don't want any lactation consultants coming to my room to tell me about the breast milk is gold, breast milk this, breast milk that. I can't breastfeed. I really don't need to hear it. I really don't want to make myself even more depressed than I know I already will be. So I just really want to skip that entirely and just say no thanks. I don't even want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see nobody. Was that number 3? Okay, number 4, no visitors. And a lot of you are probably like, what? No visitors? Because I feel like I'm really old school Southern in this aspect. The only person that's going to see my son when he's born is my mother and the baby's father. Everyone is going to be waiting until the baby is 6 weeks old. And I'll tell you why. My daughter got sick when she was born. Granted, yes, she was born in New York, and granted, yes, she was born, in winter, and he'll be born in the summer. But she got really sick. She got whooping cough. And it was before I could get her the vaccine because she wasn't old enough, obviously. And she actually got sick going to a pediatrician appointment. So it's not like, oh, well, you shouldn't have taken her out of the house. I had no choice. It was her 2-week checkup. You know what I'm saying? So she got sick on the way to going to the doctors to get her first set of vaccines. So I'm just real funky about that. And in those 6 weeks, I really want to spend it with my little family, getting to know Nathan, getting Lily adjusted to not being an only child anymore, getting used to having to share mommy, having to share daddy. This is going to be a big thing, a big change in my household, and I don't want to just be bombarded by 30 people, me having to entertain everybody. Like, I never understood why people do that. I mean, to each his own, but I never understood that. Like, in the old school South, it wasn't like that. You wait 6 weeks to see the baby, and then at that point, you have something called a sip and see, which is what I'm going to be having. It's where you invite your female friends over, or male friends if you have any, and you all sip wine, you have food, pardon me, and everyone sees the baby. And you make it a you're finally here type thing, like you're celebrating the birth. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm real big about that. Number 5, which I know is going to be controversy, but I really don't care because your opinions are your opinions. I've done my own research as his mother, and what I'm doing for my family may not work for you, and that's fine because that's why God made us all different and why every parent is different. Number 5 is after he's born and he goes through all his testings and everything, and he gets, you know, the Hep B vaccine, the stuff that goes in the eyes. I think they wait 24 hours. I want him to be circumcised. I've done a lot of research on this and it's just a personal subject that me and his father have made, and I even left it up to him. I said, you are a man, you have a penis, I do not. How would you feel about this? And he says that he doesn't want him to have to go through bullying, which will happen. He doesn't want him to have to worry about getting an STD. He doesn't want to have to worry about not being able to clean it, because I actually have a friend who's not circumcised, and he's pissed off at his mom for not getting it done because he says no matter how much he cleans, it will never be fully clean because there's so much skin. And he's actually getting that surgery now, and he's 30 years old, and he's getting that surgery because he hates his mom for not doing it. And I don't want my son to have to go through that. I don't want him to have to go through women coming up to him when he's older saying, ew, get away from me, what is that? Because I'm not going to lie, y'all. When I was dating before I got with Jay, I did talk to a couple of dudes who did not have their penis circumcised, and it was a total turnoff for me. Because I'd never been around that before, and B, it just looked gross. And it's a total turnoff for me, and I don't want my son to have to go through that. So that is a personal decision that, we have made. But like I said, I don't want to hear it in the comments. What you do is what you do. What we do is what we do. You're entitled to your opinion, but at the end of the day, it's my child, my decision. Number 6, I just really want to have access to like a lot of water, a lot of ice. With Lily, I got dehydrated and my lips kept chapping. And I did not even think that was going to happen. So lip balm was like a total like number 1 thing I needed at like my hand was like lip balm or chapstick or something. I didn't realize that my lips would get so dry. It was really terrible. So definitely have to have that stuff on standby. Definitely a fan because it gets hot. And I definitely want to be entertained because with my daughter, I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I just really want to be entertained, if not by television, but by music. I want to make a playlist called Back to the Future, where I play, early 2000 songs, and then it goes back and back all the way to the 60s. So it's going to play, a mixture of old school music, and I think that'd be kind of cute, kind of fun, something different. Excuse me, my goodness, heartburn and the coughing, it's not a good mixture. And it's also not a good mixture when you have a UTI and your son keeps kicking your bladder. It's not cute. So let me see. That's pretty much all I want. I don't want an epidural. My epidural that I have with my daughter screwed up my back. I'm trying to avoid that this time. If I use any kind of medication, it's probably going to be morphine or Demerol, something like that. If I have to have a C-section, obviously I'll get the spinal tap because I'll have no choice, but I really don't want anything going in my spine because my back is really messed up now. So that's one thing. That's pretty much it. No medications, the baby's taken care of. That's all that matters to me. It's like, I can't get into like little things. It's just like big things, like, I want him to have the vaccinations. I want him to be circumcised. I want him to be able to take a bath. I want him to be able to do all these things, but at the end of the day, when it comes to like procedure wise, I just want him here safely, so whatever the doctor or midwife or whoever's on call, excuse me, sees fit, then, obviously it's what's important at that point. So let's talk about today. So today I am 24 weeks pregnant, and 24 weeks is Viability Week. For those of you who don't know, Viability is the start of a milestone, meaning viability your baby has a higher chance of surviving if born, because they have a higher chance of living outside of the womb due to their lungs and their progression of their lungs, as opposed from last week and the week before that. It doesn't mean that 100% they will live, but it means that there is a good chance, and that most doctors will try to save the baby because they have reached viability, which is a huge milestone for mothers who are in pregnancy, and it's a huge milestone for mothers who have had a miscarriage. Now, a lot of you don't know, because I actually didn't speak about this before, but last year I actually did have a miscarriage. I was about 4 or 5 weeks pregnant and I miscarried, and it was very sad for me because I had never been through anything like that before and I didn't really know how to handle it, and I had just found out. So to me, I was like, maybe the test was faulty, maybe it was, not real, and this is just my period, but it was a miscarriage. And it can happen, and it's nothing you did, it's nothing anyone did, it's just, it wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. But it's still, something that you can talk about. So Nathan is my rainbow baby, and I take that to heart, and I love him so much. I can't wait to meet him. So that's why viability is something that's been very important to me with this pregnancy. And I didn't really know about that with Lily because I was 19. I really didn't know anything about anything. And I'm learning a lot as I go. And it's very fascinating to me that at 24 weeks, with medications and technology that, doctors can save these little babies who are only 1.5 to 2 pounds and, 13 to 14 inches long, and they're just able to save these precious human beings. And it's just astounding to me. So that's what I wanted to also discuss with you guys, was viability, which is something to definitely, celebrate. And it's such a beautiful feeling, I'm already 24 weeks pregnant today. I'm 6 months pregnant, and I only have 3 months left because his due date is June 29th. As some of you know, his original due date was July 1st, but that was because they were going off of a basis because I didn't have, a missed period. I was still having a period. I was still doing everything I didn't have a period. I was still doing my birth control pills like I was supposed to, but I wasn't bleeding, so I was like, that's weird. And so when they were like, well, when's your last menstrual period? I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't bleeding, so I didn't chart it, I didn't feel the need to because I was like, I'm on birth control, like what? And so that's why it was so hard for me to figure out what my due date was, because I didn't really have anything to go off of. So when he was finally long enough for them to measure, they measured in, crown to rump, and they were like, well, you're about this, which matches up with June 29th. So I went with that, and it's been consistent ever since. So June 29th is his due date, and if my preeclampsia stays gone, then I will either have him at the end of June or July when he comes naturally. But if I do develop my preeclampsia, they will most likely induce me at 36 or 37 weeks, depending on how bad it is. So as far as right now, it's still up in the air, and it depends on my body and how it deals with the preeclampsia. So far, so good, which is a good sign. But they are looking very into it. Every time I go, they're checking my urine. They're looking for any kind of protein because they're trying to nip it in the bud. Because with my daughter, I slipped through the cracks. They weren't always checking my protein. I would pee in a cup, but they weren't always doing something with it because they were so bombarded with all these patients. So they weren't checking it like they were supposed to. So as I was telling them, I don't really feel well, my ankles are swelling, something's not right, they were just passing me off until finally, I went to the L&D, and I was like, something's got to give, what is going on? And they hooked me up to the monitors, they checked my protein, and they're like, you have preeclampsia. And I was like, I knew something was wrong, and I just want to avoid that. I want them, if something's wrong, I want them to be able to catch it and catch it now, so I can avoid any kind of induction. I mean, if I have to be induced, I'll be induced, but if I can just deliver, that will be great for me. It'd be such a nice feeling to actually enjoy my labor and delivery, because I didn't really enjoy it with my daughter because I was so scared that I was going to lose her. The doctors that I had were not very nice to me. They yelled at me. They were like, "You're being too loud. You need to stop." Because I was growling when I was pushing with her. I don't know. It felt natural. And they're like, "Oh, you're being too loud. Shh, shut up. You need to shut up." And I'm like, what? I was 19 in a state that I'm not from. No family, nobody, except for Jay. And so they used that to their advantage and basically told me who, what, when, where, why I was going to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not that stupid 19-year-old kid anymore. You know, I'm 23. I've done my research. This is my second child. It's not my first rodeo. I know what I need to do for me and for my body and for my children. And no one's going to take that away from me. So that is very important to me that I make that very clear. And plus I'll have my mom, which I'm very happy and excited about because I did not have her in New York with me. And that was very hard. And that was the main reason why I had postpartum depression afterwards, was because I didn't have her. I had nobody. And it was very hard for me doing that all by myself. My daughter was 7 weeks old before she finally met my mom, who is like my best friend. And that was very hard for me because while I love Jay, you know, she met all of his family first. And I'm like, she hasn't even met any of mine and I'm her mother. You know what I'm like? And I'm just like, oh, this is awkward. Especially because me and his family don't really get along. You know what I'm saying? So it was just really awkward for me. So I was like, nothing for me, but you know, you get everything. So... But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, was give you guys an update. I'm 24 weeks pregnant. Everything's going swell. I'm on the labetalol twice a day and everything is just really looking well. My next doctor's appointment is actually next Wednesday, March 14th. And I'm very excited because I get to do my first fundal measuring. She said they're gonna see how it matches up. Oh, something I did want to add, I did have my anatomy scan at 20 weeks, but I have to go back at 28 weeks because for some reason baby boy was not cooperating, and it was a mixture between, sorry about that, my daughter decided to wake up. But I wanted to say that with the anatomy scan, I have to go back at 28 weeks because they said that he wasn't cooperating, but I think it was a mixture of my technician wanting to tell me about her whole childhood and she wasn't really paying attention. So, but whatever. So I have to go back at 28 weeks for that, and I'm kind of worried because I went for an ultrasound when she was 28 weeks and I couldn't see hardly anything because she was so confined, you know, it was really hard to see anything. So hopefully they get what they need and everything's fine. But you see Lily. You say hi. No, you're shy. But that was pretty much what I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, excuse you. He is already very long. They said at my gender ultrasound that he is already looking really, really long. And I know he's measuring on schedule a little bit more. So because of my 20-week appointment for the first anatomy scan, they had said that he was only supposed to weigh like half a pound and he was already over a pound. And I was like, oh, wow. Because she's small. She's on the smaller side. She was on the smaller side, wasn't she? Wasn't she? So, he'll be my tall boy. She's my little short baby girl, and he'll be my tall baby boy. So that's kind of fun. You alright?
I need a bumblebee.
You need a bumblebee?
Yeah.
She's still getting over a little cough that she has, so I had to pick up some of that, I think it's like Zigbee's or something, the bumblebee cough syrup. So... You alright?
Yeah, I want bumblebee.
You want your bumblebee? Alright, I'll get you some bumblebee and you go back night-night.
Okay.
Okay. You want to say bye to everybody?
Bye, buddy.
Alright, so I'm going to put her to bed. And like I said, I have my doctor's appointment next Wednesday for my 24-week update exam. And then from there on, it's every 4 weeks until I think I hit like 30, and then it's every 2 weeks, I think. It's been so long, I don't remember. So hopefully I'll find out soon. But I wanted to thank you guys for watching and be on the lookout for any updates. And please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. It's Southern Mama TTC. So please follow me there, because if I don't feel like making a video, I'll just update on there because it's just a little bit easier. But be on the lookout. Thanks for watching. Say goodnight.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.